Good evening, Crispy. Give me 2 seconds. Ah, shit. There's an echo from this probably. Okay, never mind. Alrighty. Can you guys hear me? Is it all fine? Is it all fine? Crispy, are you there? Anyone else has joined? Let's see. Yes, perfect. Nice, nice. Good evening, everybody. All right, let's kind of get started slowly. Let's kind of get started slowly. So, all right, cool. I can see we're live. That's great. Main. Let's switch to main. So, Clan on YouTube. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. Okay. So let's do a couple of things actually before I switch there. Give me 1 second. Let's just let me just do one thing. Okay, cool. So let me do a couple of things. So let me just take a look at some logs here. So what do we have? PN API. We have the here. This is my API. Okay. Logs. F. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. We don't have the logs. So one thing that I've noticed last night, I kind of pushed some changes, and kind of introduced some regression. Let's hope that it's also introduced locally. Yeah, it's not. So that is my worry. So let's actually take a look at that, because I've noticed last night, or actually today at work, that there was some regression, critical one. I did some infrastructure last night, and what I've actually noticed here is that, yeah, a couple of things have happened. So first and foremost, our logs are kind of gone, so we'll need to do that. But then also, yeah, I can't. Let me try this. So yeah, that technically works. In Acer, I think my domain-driven architecture is finally paying off. Yeah, I mean, some sort of DDD, right, is definitely useful, of course, right? Domain-driven design is a concept that kind of exists in many shapes and forms. It has different names for certain abstractions, but yeah, fundamentally, the idea is that you do certain things at a certain place strategically, right? So like the entire idea is that you have a plan on responsibility. So some layer does something, right? So you have a service and a repository and this and that, right? They just have very different names for the most part. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just try to fix that, because I think it could also be, maybe this is not. Give me 2 seconds. It's just okay. Actually, it works. I see. Ooh, okay. So let's do a couple of things today, I suppose. I need to finish. So what we need to do is we need to do. So I have something in the etcd. So give me a second. So I think if we do something like, let's see, monitoring. So this is this login is behind a traffic reverse proxy. I added like a basic auth to the traffic directly. But one thing that I've noticed in production, and we'll fix that today, is that I'm actually not getting any issues, which mean that then this DSN, not DS, that we've used most likely doesn't work. Chris, thank you very much. Yeah, we're 4 now, so I have a 3-month-old baby. Thank you very much, man. That's very kind of you. Okay, bear with me. Give me a second. So, okay, so there's a couple of things I want us to do today in this stream. Let's create. So, do I have some sort of to do or something? No. Let's create some plan for today, even though we probably have one already. But let's go to the projects. Let's go to Programmer Network. Let's go. So this is what I wrote yesterday, which is still important. But let me just kind of add a bit of a creep scope here. And we're gonna do. So I think let's actually, one thing that I've just noticed: login sign up doesn't yield proper errors. So let me just fix this first and deploy, and then we continue with everything else. Even though I didn't want to do this today. Enable basic auth for the web UI and traffic. I think this also we did. This, no. This actually didn't work. And if we go to our alias localhost, so if we go to like monitoring.localhost, that's kind of our local version of this free Sentry alternative, we will see that the issue is actually indeed and actually you can see, so we do throw 4.3, which is basically this set of libraries I built for this project specifically. So you can see forbidden, you do not have access. So this is actually correct. Our Fastify decorator does actually throw the proper error. This create error is my own kind of wrapper around the error. But we're not consuming that somewhere. Okay, let's take a look at that locally, right? So let's get over here. Let's see what's happening, like, because I think we're actually not propagating that error back to the UI. So if I just do something like this, right? Yeah. So this is the problem, right? So let's fix that one. This is really terrible. And if we actually read the, this is my SSH into the actual remote server. So that kind of sucks. Give me 2 seconds. Let me let me open up an actual terminal. So let's go to, actually we don't need that. Let's take a look at, can I close all of these chats? Close other chats, yeah, I guess. Explorer database, okay. So let me actually move this thing back here and Explorer, yeah, let's move our containers kind of somewhere here. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go and take a look at the logs, our container logs over here, Docker container logs, even though that kind of sucks. So we need to, I think I've changed something in one of the latest streams. So let's see where do we actually create our Fastify instance. So most likely somewhere in here. So create Fastify instance, sure. And then we have the config. And then over here we had like the logging like serializers and stuff that, so I think I might have maybe removed a little bit too much. I wanted to remove the serializers because right now I'm not using Grafana, Prometheus and Loki anymore. So I'm just like, hey, maybe we don't need that, but actually we do need it, especially locally. And I've also removed this Pino Pretty, which also kind of sucks, to be honest. So we'll probably need to we'll need to fix that as well, right? Okay, and as you can see here, kind of we used to do like we used to do a file like a file logging, right? And then we would use Loki and etc. So we're not gonna, but let's leave this. And what I'm actually going to do, let's go Pino Pretty, because they bumped the major version, and when I tried to use it last time, it didn't kind of work with our own setup. Last published one, if here's Matteo Colina. Yeah, so you can see the Pino Pretty just adds this, at least in development, it kind of annotates these logs a little bit better. Let's try setting it up again in this project though. Pino Pretty. Ah, shit. Should have added that as a development dependency, right? Yep. So let's kind of do that. And where was the docs? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so essentially, we really only want to pipe to the Pino Pretty. So when we run our service, we want to pipe data to that. So that's kind of more or less it. So if we go to package.json over here and we do the dev, we pretty much, so this is the inspect for the debugger. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, this is for production. So let's try that and see if it fails or not. So if we, so of course, yeah, we need to restart our Docker container. So let's do that. Let's kill that. And let's try to see the logs again. Let's kill that again. Where's the logs? Logs. Yes, and this is kind of the deprecation warning. So it doesn't like the ESM modules, require ESM modules. So I think what we could in theory do, we could kind of bump it down a version. Pino. Pretty. Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the so maybe let's take a look at that GitHub repo. Infinite, thank you very much, man. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Good to see you as well. I've been away for some time for sure. Is there some breaking changes here? No, not really. Okay. So let's go to version 12 because this is completely meaningless, right? We just need this in development. So let's kind of do this. Kirill, good evening, buddy. Good to see you. How I've been? Very good, man. Very good. Became a father for the second time, so now it's 4 of us. So very, very fortunate there. Just work, music, you know, standard stuff. But overall, very good, man. Thank you for asking. Hopefully everything's fine on your end as well. Kirill, yes. So that's what I did yesterday in the weekend stream. I hosted it, and actually, yeah, I deployed it to production as well. So yeah, it is an alternative to. I can actually show it to you if you want. So it is indeed a. It's a very lightweight Sentry version that it's more than sufficient, I would say, for most projects. Because when it comes to Sentry, right, Sentry offers profiling, bunch of things, video recording. So, and actually, somebody asked me yesterday, well, Alex, if you're gonna self-host, why don't you host Sentry, right? Let me show you why. So it's highly inefficient. So for example, if you want to self-host Sentry, this is what you need, right? And this is pretty depressing. So to self-host Sentry, you need 16 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of swap space, which is, okay, not a problem, right? You get that in Unix. So this is absolutely insane, right? And no matter what it comes with, it's still insane. It's highly inefficient, you could say. And when it comes to this open source alternative, really, you get pretty much, I mean, of course, somebody also asked me, how does this play relative to, you know, Grafana, Prometheus, Loki? And I would separate these two fundamentally, right? So glitch tip, just like Sentry, you know, you want to use it for error reporting. So something happened in my UI, in my backend or backends, right? Or my microservices. Whereas Grafana and Prometheus and Loki is getting more into logs, getting more into like telemetry and all of that stuff, right? So you could say that they're not mutually exclusive. You can still set this up. It's very lightweight, and as you can see, you get pretty much very similar experience as you get with Sentry, with the exception of this is, I mean, this is all I need, right? The only thing that I tried last night in a stream is to add custom tags. So essentially, with this glitch tip thing, you're still using Sentry's SDK, so they don't have their own, which I believe is very smart. Like, why they just utilize an open source alternative, which is great. Like, they don't have to maintain their own version, which is very clever. But as you can see, like, I still fail. So for example, what you want to have here, at least the user ID or username, like who actually experienced this error, right? So we still need to fix that. And unfortunately, it didn't work. It didn't work within the original SDK. Okay, let's see now, going back to this. Thank you, but thank you, Kirill, also for coming, man. Okay, it should be in theory working now, I suppose. But I don't actually see that they're really highlighted, are they? Okay, but let's cause an error again. So this is kind of where we were, right? So let's keep causing it. Yeah, or maybe is this, maybe is... Okay, let's do something like this. So let's go over here. Let's say docker container logs. Yeah, I don't actually see them. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Give me just 2 seconds. Okay, cool. So actually, I don't see anything highlighted. It's fine. It's okay. Do we still have it here? Pino pretty. Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's get to actually fix this. So error is required. Oh wow. Okay. So this is the problem. So where do we get this? Fast JSON stringify. Let's kind of stack trace this. So error. So config setup error handlers, setup decorators. So this is the call stack. So let's actually go here and see where this is happening. Okay, so interestingly, right, the reason why this fails is because our logic here, so you can see this is our centralized error handler. We're saying if it's 401 or 403, log it. If it's 401 or 403, send 204 because we don't want our UI to keep throwing errors for the SEO reasons. Then we're saying if it's a custom error, do this or that. If it's a custom AJV validation error, so this is the problem, right? So when a login attempt fails, this is in fact what we were supposed to return, and right now we're actually not doing that. So let's see why. So if we go to login, it's probably some sort of regression in one of the streams. So if I try to log in, we gonna have so we have some rate limit stuff here. Yeah, actually that doesn't matter. Setup decorators, yes. So send there. So this is where we fart out, right? So setup deck reply dot send error, reply send, and then we log the message. Let's actually also do this just for the sake of. Let's just get back here. What is the can we search it like this? Transaction cannot be rolled back because it has been finished with state rollback. Okay, wow. So you can see, so we do construct a proper error almost. Yeah, is that really proper? No. So let's go back. Yeah. So this is the problem. Okay, I see. I see. So I mean, technically here, so that's a problem, right? So if the user doesn't blah blah blah, user provider is not authentication local. Rollback, transaction rollback, throw, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, it was just that, okay, so anyway, let's, so we'll create a transaction here. Then we commit over here. Then we'll respond there. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of wrong. So let's do create error. But no, this is gonna be something like this. We're gonna say throw new AJV validation error, because I built that UI library that can kind of consume these errors, if I remember. Then we have the type of the error, and then errors, instance path, and message. Yeah, instance path is an email, incorrect email, or password. And of course, this is not a constructor, it's just a kind of function, so the new keyword is not necessary. Okay, great. Great. Okay, let's see if this is sufficient, even though most likely not, because I'll need to do something in the UI. But if we do this now, what are we getting back? Let's see. Yeah, we're still kind of not propagating that, so let's see why. So now we should be kind of throwing that, but I think this rollback is the problem, right? Because we try to roll this back, and that's kind of what we're getting there as far as I can see, right? Let's see. Let me try to find that again. Transaction can be rolled back because it has been finished with state rollback. Okay, so it seems that we are trying to... Yeah, we're trying to roll back the transaction that was already rolled back. So let's see where that is. So we roll back and then we throw. But we shouldn't really need to return here manually or anything like that, because that makes no sense. Because this, yeah, exactly. So that this is gonna kind of, this is gonna throw. So where are we actually? Ah, okay, so maybe here, right? Oh, I see what's happening. This makes total sense. So listen, so you can see we're gonna roll back, then we're gonna throw, but because we have this exception handling here, we have the catch where we get the error, we try to roll back again, and then we rethrow, right? So actually, fuck, I mean, let's see, so find users. I mean, in theory, we could just remove the try catch and let this fail and then propagate, right? Or actually, yeah, or simply not, yeah, simply not do this. I don't know why. Let's just get rid of these. Like we just have, yeah, exactly right. I think that was the problem, most likely. Okay. And now we're getting bad requests. Well, okay, at least some difference. Error is acquired, incorrect email, sure. And now let's go to the actual error handler here. And we should be we should be catching it here. If error type is custom error type JV, so this is right. So let's print that bad boy here. Let's say banana, just so we can find it easier. Okay, cool. Sign in. Okay, so it is type AJV validation error. Then we have the errors. Okay, very good. So, okay, banana. And then the type is AJV validation error, sure. If error.type, yeah. Yeah, that's correct. So we should be responding with this, right? Yeah, we should be responding with this. Yeah, we are. Okay. So why are we getting bad requests here then, though? Error is required. Shit, and we also have some rate limiting here. So I wonder if setup error handlers, setup decorators. So yeah, so now I'm no longer using the decorator here, so just using the built-in send. So this should technically work. Error bad request, what the hell? Let me just try to remove this rate limit stuff, just to see if we get past that. Nah. That's correct. Set of decorators. I mean, this is irrelevant for now. We've kind of bypassed that, so this should be fine. But somewhere, almost like we're enforcing some sort of a schema or something. Set error handler, yeah. And we're really not getting any stack trace that is helping us to resolve this. Wait a minute. Error is required. Oh no. What? Can we try with the AI? I'm a little bit confused around, honestly. I've never seen anything like this. Can we try and see if we're missing something? Nah, I don't think this makes any sense. No, I disagree with this. No, I don't think so. But let's see. Nah, has nothing to do with that. Nah. And yeah, that's completely has nothing to do with that. Send error is my custom decorator. Yeah, this is quite fascinating. It has to do something with it has to do something with it has to there's some response validation somewhere that we have on a route level. Yeah, I don't know, it's super weird. So we probably, like, there's, yeah, let's see. Nah. Wow, that's so strange, man. Okay, let's try to get to the bottom of this. Let me actually just try just avoid my custom decorator Fastify reply that code. Is it code or status? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that's correct. That's all correct, so there has to be some schema somewhere, and that is unclear right now. Let's see, customer types. Where's the UI? Over here, right? Yep. Ah, that's production. So what are we hitting? We're hitting auth login, yes. We're getting bad request, yes. Stack trace doesn't really tell us much. We're getting this serialization error. And where is this? Let's take a look at that. Maybe let me just try to kind of do some elimination process, just to kind of get the set of Postgres, set of browser. Yeah, this is intentionally commented out. We're almost done with that. We have that. Yes, set up plugins. Okay, let's start with, we have metrics, we have multi-part, we have helmet, we have course, all correct. We have the rate limit stuff, which is quite new, even though probably don't need this anymore because now we're rate limiting on our reverse proxy. So this is probably kind of useless, right? Or not needed anymore. Even though when it comes to defensive programming, you could say that it's useful still, because we kind of have. Thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. But yeah, let's see. So if I remove that middleware, let's see if there's any difference. It doesn't seem so though. Just kind of hit it a couple of times there. Serialization rate limit max 1 minute. Give me 2 seconds. All right, I actually don't know, honestly. So, I mean, I will probably, because if I go to my Docker Compose, right, and if I go to the, let's say, production labels, right, I'm doing rate limiting now on a reverse proxy level, right? So if we take a look at the traffic here, right, actually I think this is part of our base Docker Compose, but if we go to rate limit, right, we have a rate limit middleware somewhere. Or where did I put it? Override production label. Yeah, production labels here. It's so we have a rate. We have bunch of like bunch of the labels, but here's the. So we could technically nuke this from application layer here, but then I don't think it has anything to do with it. It's so weird, man. I've never seen this, which is awesome because kind of have a feeling we're gonna learn something new, which is nice. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to it. I mean, the only thing that, let's actually take a look, maybe when we bump the major Fastify version, right? Let's see, are they doing something different? Let's see if this thing actually still works. Know that. Oh, latest version. Okay, cool. So this is the latest. I guess we're probably somewhere in the latest. I would assume so. Guides, errors. Is there like error? And okay, their search doesn't work, it seems. Okay, reference, testing database recommendations. Fastify handling. I'm just now kind of tripping a little bit, but let's see. Customize variable. Yeah, we actually have Fastify codes. Fastify lifecycle hooks, yeah, we know that. We don't care for errors in Fastify, errors handling, blah, blah. Interesting. Yeah, these are kind of built in, like enums, you could say, that we can use. That's awesome. But none of that really we care. We have our own custom errors, so yeah. Shit, man, that's interesting. Okay, let's try that again. Just need to propagate this one. Bad request. Serialization rate limit max. Actually, you know what? Let's actually get back here. Let me just, out of panic, restart this container. Kind of starting to yeah, sure. Yeah, it's this one, right? Yep. Let's take a look at the logs again here. Yeah, it's the same crap. Anonymous eval at fast JSON stringify. Yeah, useless, serialize, useless. We don't have any custom serializers, so that's kind of funny. And maybe that is the difference. So that's kind of what I did yesterday, wasn't it? Give me a second. If we go to like API here. I'm from the Balkans originally, but I live in Scandinavia for maybe past 15 years in Copenhagen. Wait a minute, API, what did I merge? Program Network API, commits. Centric for our tracking, meetup, work, optimize Docker file, nodejs builds, meetups. Give me 1 second. These are the commits, right? Let's actually take a look at the PRs. Closed. Yeah. Just see changes. App, I suppose. App TS. Yeah, this one. Yeah, sure. Nah, not that one. Not that one. Or maybe it is. Index. Seer. Seri. Yeah, so here these were my serializers before, right? So let me put them back. I don't know if I messed something up, right? So let's just here for the logger, right? The logger takes this serializers object, where you can kind of serialize how you process your errors. So like the pieces of a request response and an error that you want. I'm skeptical that it's this, but let's give it a shot. No, it's not that. Okay, screw you. Okay, man, what the hell is happening? Let me actually, because now I'm using this built-in thing. Let me give this to the robot, to the regex and steroids, and then let's see what's actually happening. Get some water. Yeah, so I'm almost certain now, reading what robot is saying, that in one of the major versions they kind of changed. You can see it says the issue is that Fastify's response serializer expects a field name error, not messenger type. The schema likely defined globally. Yeah, but that makes absolutely no sense, man. Unless it does, because let's actually go back here. When we respond with a 400 code, it expects an error thing, right? So in simple words, I think the easiest thing to test this is like, hey, let's remove the status code and see if we can just send this. This kind of makes sense, right? So if we do this, internal server error, okay. Okay, what happened now? What? And okay, so yeah, so this is, yep. This is weird now. Yes, for sure. So they have changed something. I have no doubts. So this is something that I probably didn't follow through with yeah, okay, let me try. Even though that sucks, but let me try. So if we try to just say, hey, let's send an error object, literally like that. So it's going to be an object that has an error object, and then in there we can have our own stuff. Let's see if this is a new thing, because if it is, then we need to kind of update this decentralized error handler completely, right? And yeah, almost it worked. Okay, it almost worked. So if we go back here, let's kind of get rid of our serializers here, even though this is only for logging, so this actually has no significance to this problem at all. But let me just remove them. All right, cool. So we've learned something new, that something has changed at one point in time. So let's go back here. Set error handler, blah, 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 set a function that will be invoked whether an exception is thrown during the request lifecycle. Sure, we know that the handler is bound to Fastify instances, fully encapsulated, so different plugins can set error handlers, async and await support as well. If the error status code is less than 400, Fastify will automatically set it to 500 before calling the error handler. Wow, okay. Set error handler will not catch exceptions thrown in on response hook because the response has already been sent to the client. Fair enough. Not found errors. Fair enough as well. And then they have one for that as well. Fastify is provided with the default function that is called if no handler is set on a. It can be accessed using Fastify error handler and it logs the error. Okay. Warning, avoid calling said error handler multiple times in the same scope. Cool, cool, cool. This is actually useful, but we're gonna get to that later. Okay. This is a centralized error handler, right? So there are many errors that can happen. Errors are, I treat errors as first-class citizens. They're one of the most important things to handle in your project, right? And some of them are centralized and some of them are localized depending on the context. In this centralized exception handler, we handle different types of errors, and depending what it is, you know, I have custom errors that I return to my UI, and in my UI I wrote some libraries that understand these custom errors and they can easily render them to the user. So you could say that this is kind of isomorphic way to solve error handling, right? So right now this is some regression because again I only build this project when I stream and I don't stream much. So at one point in time I probably upgraded Fastify and this hidden change was there, and now their serializer works differently, right? Because how I send my error back should be none of their business at all, right? I should be able to respond with whatever hell I want, which is common sense. And I doubt that Matteo Collina, who built this, actually would do this and enforce someone to, right? But that makes no sense. Let me actually try it, because you can see, in fact, that let me actually search for reply here. Okay, send, you can see errors. If you pass to send an object that is instance of error, Fastify will automatically create an error structure. Yeah, but I'm not passing any instance of an error. I'm just passing. Okay, yeah, let me try one thing. Let me try maybe one crazy thing. So if we go back to our login endpoint, and here in the schema, login schema, oh my god, man, here it is. This is why. Jesus Christ, man, I'm so dumb. This is why. Oof. That is absolutely terrible. Okay, never mind. I actually had no idea that we had this useless response schema. We should have looked at that 20 minutes ago. Jesus Christ, man, that is absolutely terrible. We shouldn't have had that, right? This is useful for our Swagger spec, you could say, right? But it's actually useless in this context because you don't want to. It's impossible to define all of your errors in your OpenSpec API, because you can have a bunch of different errors of the same type. So you can throw 400 that has a bunch of different things, right? Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Kirill. Sure, if this was like a high traffic route or anything like that, maybe. But in this context, it's not worth the hustle of failing like this. Okay, good. Cool. So now if we go to, like, I guess some login form. Actually, like, where is this thing? Yeah. Let me just find this in the UI somewhere. Sign up, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm gonna do, because now we have access to the AI, right? Let's just give it this and say, let's break this in our style so there is a clear separation code-wise between sign up and login structure. Let's just clean that up a bit, and then we're gonna Then we're gonna finalize this glitch tip, like Sentry's free open source alternative. So actually it already works, but I'm not getting any events in production. So I will want to kind of do that. Let's give it a second. All right, let's see. Did it do something? Let's take a look. Create blah, blah, blah. Let's see. What is it doing? What the hell are you doing? Okay. Yeah, okay, good, good, good. Odd background. What is this? Huh. Okay, interesting. Ah, I see. Okay, so it kind of did do what I told it. Let's see. Let's review this very quickly. Good. Sure. Yeah. Use state. Use AJV4. Okay, good. Great. That's good. Sign up form, sign up success. Very good. Have you used anything else outside of cursor? Yeah, I mean that is a bit tough. I don't know what you would mean, like ever or like since cursor exists, because you know I've been doing this work for 2 decades almost. So yeah, I've used a lot of things. But if you mean since cursor came out and AI related, no, I don't think so. I mean, I've tried most of these editors like Windsurf and all of that crap, and it's the same. All of it, this is just a fork of VS Code, right? I mean, I use a bunch of AI, especially because our company pays for it, right? So I use, but not in the context of the IDEs. It's more in the context, like I use Gemini every day, I use ChatGPT, but I use their just web versions, right? For research, for various types of things, right? But code editor wise, no, not really. I mean, all of them are the same, to be very frank with you. So there's very little difference between them. It's the same crap, more or less, right? I mean, any of them that you use is more or less the same. VS Code, right? As long as I always say, how successful you will be in the context of how successful you're going to be in the context of AI more bounds to your reasoning and questions rather than the model itself. I think people are searching for optimizations of these models in very wrong places. I think the best optimization to these models is your reasoning and your questions, right? So I would say for me, all of these models and everything works because if your input to the AI is terrible, then the output is going to be terrible. Same goes with humans, right? I mean, if you ask a stupid question to a human, then you will most likely get a yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, yeah, I don't know what to say. I've also tried some, and I would say most of them work pretty well. Pretty well. Okay, so why is this not working? This should be correct. Let me see here. If you ask a stupid, yeah, I mean it does try to satisfy humans, right? But actually, think about it this way. I would say that it's not even an issue of ChatGPT. I think it's an issue of the times that we live in, right? We live in the times when people are overly sensitive to everything, right? So today, if you want to give feedback to someone, you have to plan it for three months ahead, right? So I think the output of ChatGPT perfectly reflects the times that we live in. I wouldn't even blame ChatGPT. They designed it so it doesn't hurt someone's feelings, right? Wow, this typecasting here, I absolutely hate it. Jesus Christ. But actually, in this case, you could say it makes sense. Even though, wait a minute. So we're expecting an error, which is unknown, sure. And then we're saying that the error is of this type, right? Okay, cool. What we're whatsoever missing is now that we're actually returning back the array. So we need to say return error as blah blah blah. Okay, so let's say this is the return. Yeah, the problem is that that now we're returning the error as an array, right? So if we go back to our API, okay, I mean, we're almost done with this. We're almost done with this. That's fine. I think if we go to the error handler here whatsoever, I think this is the problem. We're returning errors, which is if I go to my auth service. Typecasting should be avoided at all times, right? Like if you're typecasting, that most likely means there's a smelly code somewhere. So in this context, you could say, so there's very rare occasions where it makes sense, and I think I just showed one place where it does in fact, like if you go through my code, you will not find that anywhere. Bounty, my friend, good evening. So the reason why it kind of makes sense in a way here is that this getter function, this utility, is going to get some error which we don't know what it is, but then we assume that it is in fact our own, and then we ask, you know, hey, does it type match this, right? Hey buddy, good to see you. But let's rewrite this. I actually don't like this at all. So it's a static method, and that's fine. Good, my friend, good. How are you, man? We haven't seen each other. I haven't streamed, as you probably noticed, in a long time, so... But good, man. Family, work, colleagues, kids, wife, more or less that. More or less that. I think I like this way more. What about you, man? How are you? If it's an array... Yeah. What? What is it? What? Oh. Sure. Okay, so this I think is better. Then also, yeah, yeah, we need to be very careful here as well. Yeah, not really, no. So we need to kinda, yeah, exactly what cursor is suggesting. Yeah, like this, right? We need to make this silly assumption here. How are your projects going, man? I know you've been doing... no, I'm not using $200 Cursor. I'm using Cursor from my company, and I spend very little on it. I mean, it's maybe $3 a day or something like that. So I don't actually know. I mean, actually, no, that's way too. I don't spend that much. But no, I don't use the $200 one. That would be very hard to spend, to be very frank with you. Yeah, man, actually, we need to solve this a little bit better. This kind of sucks ass. And yeah, what, like this should be true now. Wait a minute, what? Come on, bro. That really depends like how you're using AI, right? If you're like a vibe coder or whatever the whatever the modern name for these things is if you're like just trying to print products quickly, ship fail and ship fast, fail fast, right? Then yeah, it makes sense. I see what's happening. Crap. Okay, So we should not be passing the errors. We should be... Oh, I see. No, okay, never mind. Okay, so we need to do this a little bit better. So I'm gonna revert this. I very much... Okay, wait. So we need to systematically solve this, and I really dislike it so far. So we know that our error that comes from the API might have errors on it, right? Which is an array, so that's fine. This is a return type, return. The only difference now is that we started returning an array and not a single object, so that's the problem. So let's see. Yeah, and that is the problem, right? Is validation error. Okay, let's solve it for this specific case, and then we're gonna solve it for others. So indeed, handle login. Oh, I see, man. This is so dumb. Alex, come on, bro. Why have you done this? Nah, don't do that. Okay, so we have like a async tank here, our Redux async tank, which makes sense now because I was like, where is the... Okay, that was also a crappy part of it, right? Okay, so let's try that again. And now we kind of get it to work to kind of understand the server errors, right? Okay. And that's okay for the most part. The problem is though, yeah, the problem is we do this in several places, right? And as we can see clearly, it is slightly okay. I mean, that is honestly, yeah, that is fine. Maybe you could say in theory there's some of these things that we could kind of double check, maybe use AI to review it for us super fast. But yeah, and then also we have this one where, let's just say in theory, let's also, because this, let's see if this works. Yeah, okay, I think that's good now. So just going back to this though, is there a way for us to abstract this in such a way, like, I mean, we could, is it worth it? Probably not, so let's not do it. Okay, so that is fixed. Let me a bunch of these projects. Let's go here. Let's actually, we need to commit a bunch of this crap. So we have this. Okay, so let's now continue. So that kind of is fixed, you could say. Now what we need to do, now we need to continue with the other things, right? Give me 5 seconds. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's close up some of this stuff. And this is fine. We're gonna keep that commented out until we're done with that. This we can kind of actually we can just undo what we did here. Ah, you can't watch the stream, man. That's so bad to hear. Shit, why is that? Does anyone else have that problem? That's terrible to hear, dude. Wait. Output. Stream. Yeah, I mean, I did. So there was a problem with the stream before where I was streaming in a too high quality. I was streaming in 4040p, but then I've reduced it to 6000 bitrate and stuff, and so now it should be fine for everybody. I have no idea. Ah, it was DNS. Okay, yeah, I mean, it always sucks to hear that, right? Yeah, I see. Shit. Okay. Okay, okay. Alright. So let me now so what we need to do now is first, okay, what is this project? What is this? There's a bunch of stuff we need to deploy now though. Let me actually close a bunch of this stuff. So we have the Louis GUI stuff, okay? Okay, all the tests are passing. All of the, I mean, let's do latest again, because let's see, maybe there's something new, it doesn't really matter. Oh, okay, wait a minute, what? Okay, so that's passing, that's fine, that's great. That's okay. I need to go and just review this now. There's been a bunch of changes to this, a bunch of refactor and stuff. Very good one, nothing bad. Very good cleanup of our core library, and then we had some new components. Okay, this is awesome. Okay, so we need to kind of stage a bunch of these things and push. It's gonna be a massive big ass one. So we're gonna push directly to master because we're the only one. So git commit m. We're gonna say feat improved imports and added feat components. Very useless, but you know, that's what it is. Let's see if actually before we do that, let me just manually run the formatting because I know it's gonna be wrong probably. So our Husky pre-commit hook doesn't just randomly fail. Cool. Did we actually format anything? Yeah. Did we? Nah. Okay. There's nothing. Okay, let's try committing this. Try committing that. Is Kubernetes like a personal version of Azure? No. That's the no. Has nothing to do with that. Azure is a web hosting service. It's like like a cloud provider, right? Kubernetes is a way to orchestrate many computers or servers to work together and to provide high reliability and of your infrastructure, right? So Kubernetes is a way to orchestrate. Kubernetes is an orchestrator, just like Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, etc. That orchestrates different workers and nodes to work together. Okay. Oh, okay. That's weird. What happened here? Okay, interesting. Let's go Yale. Programming Network Yale. Let's take a look at our CI. So we have a bunch of things. We have release, please, continuous integration deployment. Of course, this has to pass, which it will, because we had a similar pre-commit hook. Then we have a release, please, which should open a new PR for us. What terminal is that? This is Windows terminal. I think I have, I don't know if my commands work. I haven't streamed in a long time, but I recorded that video very, very long ago. Okay, but wait, let's wait for other actions to, and then we deploy this to npm, and then hopefully we can then deploy a bunch of other things. I mean, it's gonna be kind of shitty, but yeah, we'll see. La 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 la. Yeah, so I would expect all that to pass. So my kind of CI for this thing could be better, you could say, because those two should not be running in parallel, right? But they do. So the release, please, should really release the new version once we pass like linting, type checking, testing, and building. But it doesn't really matter. Like, the only downside is now I just need to do my due diligence and wait until this actually passes, right? But besides that, it doesn't matter. You can always improve things. It's better to have them in some shape or form than not have them. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, right? It's kind of, it works well, and it's great. So it's good, right? I mean, again, right? So now we can do the release, please, right? I can merge this, obviously, because I'm the only one working on all of these projects. So, and now, right? So this is gonna start another CI, right? Which is kind of funny. So you can see like it's now running the other one again, which makes absolutely zero sense. But then this should, yeah. And then once this kind of releases the new version, we can go to publish package here, and then I'll trigger this workflow manually, right? So you can see it's not fully automated, and I actually don't care because, again, I'm the only one maintaining this, so I know. But in ideal circumstances, I could like merge some of these YAML files and make sure, because you can see now it's also a waste of resources, because, you know, we have this ran, it passed, as you can see. Then we merge the release, this release, please, kind of opens the PR automatically. Then once we merge that, this runs again, which is kind of waste of resources and time, because, I mean, yeah, but it's, you know, you can say it doesn't really matter. So once this now passes, whatever, we'll just go to the publish package and then click it, and then this should deploy it technically to npm, right? Actually, we can already do that. And this should trigger a new workflow that publishes this to npm, right? So that's not terrible. It's going to publish the npm and publish the storybook in parallel. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter, right? So that's great, right? So now, was that perfect? Now, no. But the main reason why I had to deploy that to npm is that I have a bunch of pending changes locally for the front-end project, like too many, and many of them probably shouldn't end up in production in the first place, but that is fine. That is fine. Again, I have very limited time to build this, so I'll just try to, I always try to get some progress there. Better some than none, right? So yeah, I'll just double checking some stuff there. Thank you very much, guys, for your follows. I appreciate that. Password. Okay, cool. Nice, man. That's, I mean, there's no product without the front end, right? So as I was saying many times, I do everything from electrons and physics and soldering and digital electronics to making buttons hoverable, right? And as I was saying many times, in rare occasions, anything matters. Nothing matters without, actually, nothing matters without some client-side thing, right? So think about it this way, right? Engineering is a cohesive set of components that without one another, nothing really matters, right? So you have, obviously, the first thing that you have is electricity, right? This is obviously the most important component of all. Then you have computers, right? That are composed of transistors and PCBs and ICs, integrated circuits, etc., right? But then you have, you have networking layer, right? So, you have some internet and some, then you have protocols, right? And these protocols are kind of rules on how we communicate from one place to another, and sometimes one way, sometimes two ways, sometimes keeping the connection alive, sometimes, so the many different protocols, right? Then you have so you have all of these layers, these 7 layers that we often talk about, right? But then you have your backends, whatever they are, they can be many things, right? And then you have your client side or whatever, front ends, right? And fundamentally, each one of them is almost equally important in this in the context of digital products, right? Because obviously without this, nothing matters, and without this, right? But then these are almost equally important to the client itself, right? Because without this, well, you can have a perfect backend or backends or services, but without showing it to the user, it's meaningless. And the same goes the other way. You can have the most beautiful website, but without some capabilities of storing data, retrieving data, being secured, it's also meaningless, right? So there's no such thing as less or more important. Each one of these components is a cohesive unit of things that make a digital product possible, right? And without any of these, this product wouldn't exist. So this very Twitch that you're watching this stream on wouldn't exist, right? So everything matters. So there's no such thing. And client, like UIs for regular consumers, is the most important thing that matters. Hey, where can I click? What can I see, right? So yeah, so of course that you have to learn UI. You cannot build a product without knowing UI or anything like that, right? It's just I mean, if you don't have a client from the perspective of others, you're actually not doing anything, right? Nobody cares about your backend. Zero. No, absolutely nobody. Nobody. I mean, but when I go to Amazon, when I land on this site, an average user doesn't think, wow, when I hit enter, something happened, some DNS resolved or whatever, or wow, this was server-side rendered, right? Etc., etc. Nobody cares about that. So it's the same for you, man. Like when you come to a website like this, you don't care what's the infrastructure behind it. You want to come here and right? Have you heard about Mendix? No, Burger Phil, I don't know what that is. No. Mad Dog, my friend. Hey, good to see you, dude. How are you? indeed long time no see. What is the version that we just deployed? This one, right? Okay, cool. So let's just put this bad boy here. That is fine. Let's switch there, try to install that and see if it actually works. Hopefully when I kind of restructure things, I didn't fuck things up and stuff like that. That would really be shitty. So let's hope for the best. Let's truly hope for the best. Yeah, I'm a bit skeptical about this now though. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Okay, I mean, you know what? Let's okay, and then I've made some. Been working, yeah, man. Story of all of our lives. So all of this is correct. I'm happy with that. So we have some local aliases in Yale, so we can, when we develop local packages, we can do that with ease. So that's very good. Yeah, that's kind of correct, you could say. Yeah, sure. We've set up our own open source version of Sentry, you could say, called glitch tip. Also good, you could say, yeah, we don't have really staging UI environments, so having some crap like this, yeah, it's okay by me. I mean, this is actually fine. Even though, is it beautiful? Is it ideal? No, but is it end of the world? It's not. So let's see what we've done. So we initialize Sentry. Okay, sure. I don't trust myself, so I need to see what I've done. Sure. Oh, look at Kirill, how proudly he says that. I'm so happy for you, my dude. So happy for you. Okay, cool. Okay, reasonable, I would say. Sure. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's see what we did here. So yeah, so here this reject with value that comes with from this async tag from Redis. So kind of, yeah, I shouldn't have done error.error. So this was kind of why that regression also existed. So that was very crappy. And then yeah, we've kind of asked AI politely without screaming at it to kind of break this out for us. And I love it so much for being regex on steroids. So I don't have to manually move things around. I respect that help a lot. So you can see it just broke down this into very small. I'm not gonna say reusable components because we're not gonna really reuse these. These are more like views. So then like small reusable micro components. But still, we need to just throw some. I don't know why it does this. I hate that syntax. Okay, cool. Auth background. Okay, that's a strange name. No to hacker on YouTube. Hey, buddy. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, cool. So yeah, technically, yeah, we can merge this to UI production as well and hope for the best. A life of a product that is built on a stream. I'm thinking of changing my website host over Cell since I have my domain from. What is the like hosting from Cloudflare? I mean, I honestly don't. I don't think it matters where you host your site. I mean, especially if it's a static site. There's so many. There's so many possibilities, right? Cloudflare has Cloudflare pages, and it's very good. What is to say, they're probably hosting the file somewhere on their R2, which is a Cloudflare alternative to S3. I mean, what is to say? I think the main benefit of hosting it on Cloudflare pages is that you can then apply various Cloudflare tools to your Cloudflare pages, right? So that I would say is the main benefit, right? So you get the WAF, their firewall, you can use web workers, you can use so many things that Cloudflare provides, right? You can use their own caching mechanisms, you can use their, like, obviously your website is using their own CDN. So the benefit is mainly if you know how to use Cloudflare properly, and if you're utilizing all of the services they provide, then absolutely it's useful, right? If you don't care about it, and Vercel, as far as I remember, I'm not using these opinionated. I'm not using any platforms like that couple me to themselves in such a way. But Vercel is hosted on AWS, and give me 1 second. Sorry. What? What are you talking about, bro? Interesting. But of course, as always, right? In engineering, you have to answer yourself why, right? Why am I doing something, right? And if you can't answer that, then you should probably not be doing it. So if you're planning to, if you're planning to move, but you're asking already why, you should not be moving, right? Like, so you already gave yourself an answer. Because if there was a reasoning behind it, right? You would already, you would self-answer that question, right? So no, you probably don't want to move anywhere. You're probably fine using whatever you're using, right? Because again, problem typically leads you to a solution, not the other way around. You don't just say, oh, I want to move, and then like, okay, why? Well, you know, it's cool. I want to move to something cool, right? Okay, this is so weird, man. Why is it failing? That absolutely makes no sense. Error during build, SAS, missing this specifier in. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Ooh, shit. Yeah. Maybe, no, we do have it. Dot styles, though. So I wonder. I use Lino then. Yeah, I mean, you can use. I mean, as long as it works. Like, I mean, hosting is not a thing of the, you know, like. Yeah, if it works, great. That's it. Especially for our small crappy projects, right? It's kind of meaningless, right? I don't think it really matters at all. Let me just try something, because it's not very clear for me how this thing is supposed to work. So exports /styles goes to this thing, right? Let me actually ask AI. How then am I supposed to import this style in another project, as this is my core UI library? What? Oh, I see. Okay, sure, let's try. Let's hope. One can only hope. Okay. I see. Okay. So Yale and styles. Okay, interesting. Shit, man, that sucks ass. Yeah, crap. I see. Okay, let's try. I mean, honestly, I'm not very familiar with these directives in CSS SCSS files. It's been so long, so like I actually. I just need it to work. I actually not very interested into these details about it, frankly, to be very honest. And I think this is wrong. I don't think this is correct. We'll try to use an import. The reason why I'm not using import apparently is going to be deprecated. And I also honestly don't even know why am I using SCSS files here as well, because we're not doing any nesting or any. Actually, no, we're not. Yeah, I mean, okay, but I don't like that. My build system doesn't like that. Can I try something like this? Yeah, I think so. I'll show you in a moment. I think it is. I think it is. Yes. And also this okay, so I'll switch back to import because something's off with it. Because my build system doesn't really. But you can see here, deprecation warning: SAS import rules are deprecated and will be removed in Dart SAS 3.0. So yeah. Actually, you know what? This is a lazy way to fix this. I actually want it to fail like this. This is okay. But let's then fix that, because our build process now fails. So let's try to fix it so we are future proof, you could say. Actually, instead of doing this for the AI, let's run the pm build here. Then let's give it this cryptic error. Because AI can actually read these, like we can just link to a bash, to a terminal bash here, right? Yes, but that makes no sense. I'm trying to use the version that we already published to. So let's try that. Otherwise, we'll just proceed with import as it was before, and then just not upgrade to that peer dependency or whatever. Yeah, but that doesn't work. I tried, man. I tried that and it doesn't work. Yeah. Try that, doesn't work. Okay. Because I have zero interest in spending time on this, honestly, I'll just switch this to import and I'll live with the fact that the build process will complain a little bit. What's happening? Oh, that's because we're in development, right? That's the problem, right? Yeah, my bad. Actually, it's probably nah, not really. Actually, no, it's not. Missing this specifier in. Okay, let's actually try to commit this again. Actually, you know, and what we can also do is we can do. Thank you very much for your follows, fellas. Appreciate it. Import. And I want to do this kind of alias, if you may. So let's try something like this. And that, just for fun. Try to build it now. Yeah, that maybe works. Let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah, that seems to work because that's how we're exporting that style now. And I like that. I think that's cleaner, more library-like. Okay. And are we actually... Yeah, that's kind of very ironic. But this is because I believe we are... Yeah, this is because we're... Okay, let's do one thing. Package JSON. Yeah, exactly. Because we're in development. So let's take a look at the beta config here. And I believe what we need to do is also update this crap, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna say, hey, when you try to resolve this path, well, do this instead. So I think essentially what we need to do is we need to say, hey, you know what? Like when somebody requests this, do that, right? And in theory, should work in theory. Yeah, and it does. Okay, beautiful. Let me read the question. of the main reason I have for moving from Vercel hosting to Cloudflare pages is the AWS thing that you said. Vercel is hosted using AWS, and to change the location of my hosted site in Vercel, I need to upgrade to paid plan, which I have no plan to do. Also, build my own file upload component integration with the R2 bucket free plan, sure, but Vercel has 4. I mean, honestly, exactly. That is very good reasoning. I agree. I mean, perfect. It seems. I mean, that's very important that you just agree with your own reasoning, right? That's great, man. I think that is pretty much. I think you already have answered it for yourself, right? It seems you have some reasonable explanation, like why do you want to do it, and that makes total sense, Josh. I think that makes total sense. Absolutely go with it. Absolutely go with it. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Fucking formatting, man. That's so annoying. Okay. I would say that yeah, for most projects that don't have sufficient amount of users, it doesn't really matter, right? You could also not use any of that. You could just serve static files using traffic or Nginx or whatever, right? So there's so many solutions. It all boils down to what it is that you need, right? I would say that yeah, there's so many solutions, right? Pull requests. Okay, well, may God have mercy on our soul. Now, when we merge this, there's a bunch of crap that, yeah, just, you know, might not work. I don't think so, actually. I think it will work, but let's just do it. And then I believe security stuff. So we did upgrade everything to the latest. So a bunch of these things will close because. So I'll do this, and I'll actually uncheck this because this is something I worked on, as you can see, very long ago. So we'll just close these because these are no longer an issue. We did upgrade all of these things. Then we'll go to our Cloudflare pages, and then we will take a look at if this actually passes or not, if we actually deploy it. And yeah, it's gonna be ugly in one, there's one thing that I already know it's gonna kind of suck, but I'm fine with that. Give me 2 seconds, oops. Yeah, this, yeah, actually, why is that history? Okay. Yeah, this is, I have no idea what is this. I worked on this very long ago, so we'll leave that PR open, it's fine. Let's see if this is gonna get deployed. Yeah, it seems that it's gonna be fine. So all of that passed. We deployed that. Is there anything in the API that we have to deploy? I think we made some tiny changes there. What the hell is happening? Where's my? Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, we actually do need to deploy, redeploy the backend as well, right? So let's see what we've done here. Sure, yeah, that's necessary, definitely. Constants. I mean, this is terrible, right? We need the logger, right? But it's, yeah, let's keep it. Let's keep it, I suppose. It's just gonna write to the std out, but we need our Loki and Prometheus and stuff back. Let's just basically the send error is my own custom reply decorator, so it just kind of we avoid kind of, yeah, some cool. Okay, let me actually just very quickly go to our local host here, just make sure that it still works with the actual decorator, and it does. Very good. This kind of also sucks, we're gonna fix that. Okay, cool. So we definitely need to do that. What did I do here? We added the Pino Pretty to development. Very good. We're gonna commit that as well. Commit that as well. Let's go here. Let's say git checkout that b-b fix login regression HAV error. Let's do that. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. That's a lot of text. That's a lot of text, man. Okay, let's push this bad boy. Let's open that up. Let's do this. Let's review our own code. What? Ooh, did we like... What? Are you kidding me, bro? Really? No way. No way. That absolutely makes no sense. Why would I remove this, man? That's completely, absolutely terrible. Headless Headhunter. I don't know. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. I don't know how to use these Twitch commands. I guess shout. Yes, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so that was a mistake. Yeah, we shouldn't have removed that. That's so weird. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's kind of commit that back. That's weird. I don't know how that happened, honestly, but it did. Okay. Let's push that as well. Good evening, everybody. How are you? 1 second. I'm just focusing a bit here. User yeah, sure. Agreed with all that. Cool. Yeah, all right. Well, let me actually go to the production now and make sure things are at least not broken or whatever. Okay, yeah, I dislike some of the stuff. But let's see. And we didn't yet deploy the UI stuff, so that's why probably. Man, I have no idea what is my... Okay, this, okay. So that is not terrible at all. Yeah. That is absolutely not terrible, I would say. No upcoming events, sure, I mean, something's shown there. I think Carol, it's like, if I remember these commands when I streamed. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but yeah, okay, so that's now kind of unfortunate that, yeah, because we didn't finalize. And also I can see there's a little bit of, let's say, it's unproportional a little bit now, but it's okay. I don't mind. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's push this to production as well. And then let's wait for it to deploy and to back up the database and all of that stuff. Wait, is this my CI actually? Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. That should, I hope, work. Okay, cool. Yeah, technically that was already in the master, so good. Okay, great, super. Very good. Okay, if we now go to monitoring.programmer.network issues, yeah, so one of the problems that I want to fix before we round up the stream today is essentially make sure that our glitch tip works in production, because it doesn't right now. So let's go to our Cloudflare first and foremost, and let's ensure that the env for this thing is correct. So if I go here, variables and secrets, and if we take a look at this bad boy here, so that is in fact correct, sure. So if I go over here and just throw an error actually from the... Ah, nice. Okay, good. Okay. So we have to update the CSP, right? And that makes total sense. I see. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So I suppose, right, that if we look at our headers file, I guess we'll need to add this bad boy here. So if we do this, and then we do this, I suppose we need to add monitoring.programmer.network to our CSP. But also maybe there's some setting in this glitch tip where we have to actually... Let's let's see if they have something like CSP related. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more this. Okay, actually I don't think it has anything to do with this, but let's just deploy this to and see. I don't think it has anything to do with this. Content requests are enabled by default. In most cases, there's no need to change these. Okay, I don't know. We'll see in a second. But we also need to double check. So this is correct. Yeah, now it's probably running Husky, so we'll check that in a moment. But then we'll also need to see. Ah, shit! Did we deploy API? Is it still working? It is. Okay, very good. So let's sync that and let's then double check. Thank you very much for your follows. That's very kind of you. So let's get back here. We should be seeing another thing running. Yeah. Cool. Building application. Okay, let's go to headers. No, actually I will. Okay, so once this deploys, if this doesn't fix it, then we'll need to kinda, it seems, SSH to our server, and then seems to be update. This is probably an env. Yeah, this is an environmental variable, so we'll need to kinda, but I don't think so. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, all of that seems fine. It's probably, yeah, so it's building, deploying to the CDN. Success. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Let's give it a second, uploading the dependency cache. Let's see. Are you done? Yeah, it's done. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the settings again. Let's take a look at where were the headers? I suppose. Yeah, actually, after the build finishes, we should be able to see the actual headers. So if we search for monitoring, yeah, exactly. Okay, so if we refresh now again in production, fuck. And this is something we'll need to do, I suppose, in there, right? So I think we'll need to, let's kinda yeah, exactly, right. So this is kind of what we need to do now. Crap. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Well, that is fine, right? Okay. So, yeah. Okay, let's coordinate this with AI just so we update this very quickly. And okay, so first and foremost, let's go to GitHub secrets, right? So we're gonna go to our to our API. We're gonna go to secrets, actions. We're gonna go new repository secret. And we're gonna go something like this. Sure. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Very good. Okay, and now we need to tell the AI, all right, let's now make sure we pass side docker compose and program network API. Yeah, I think so. Sure. Yep. Correct as well. Yes. Okay. Great. Did we actually okay, good. Okay, cool. All right, that's good. I think that's all that we have to do. So okay, but before we deploy the API, which is gonna redeploy our API, the deploy YAML, we need to push this one, and then I'll SSH into my server. So I'll do this. I'll just quickly switch to my camera, so I SSH into the actual server, and then I'll switch back here, and then I'll do this, and then I'll git pull, and then I go vdocker compose, okay, it's there, right? Beautiful. Okay, super. So that's there. We added the env in GitHub Action Secrets, And the last thing is that we push this and redeploy our API so it can kind of get this stuff. Okay, cool. Let's kill that SSH session. Let's go back here and let's push this. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay, cool. And then if we go back here, that should be running. What are these pull requests? Yeah, that's actually still to be solved. So in theory, if this works, if we're to trust this documentation here, yeah, our kind of own version of Sentry is going to work. So these things should be fixed, but yeah, let's give it a shot. And then we'll need to get back to the meetups part as well. That's correct. Let's kind of close up some of this stuff. That's correct. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. Refactor RSS feed import and improved UI functionality. Yeah, that's also done. This also done. Very good. Okay. Okay, deploying now. Let's see what's happening afterwards. Cool. All right. Nah, that didn't work. Shit, man, that sucks. Yeah, that didn't monitor networking API v2 envelope Sentry version. Yeah, that didn't work. Ah. No. So actually, that's the change we've just done, right? That's the irony, right? That is the change that we've just done according to their documentation. So in theory, right, it should be. Yeah, it was. So so it was a CSP. It was CSP initially. What the fuck is happening? It was CSP initially, but then we sold that, and then it was coarse. Where is it? So yeah, so that's weird, but that's what we've just done. So we've just added the. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's what we. What? Oh my god, what? Why did it... That makes zero sense, man. Why that's wrong? Jesus Christ, man. Why? It used the wrong, the AI failed. Okay, well, I mean, to its defense, right? I mean, should have paid more attention myself, so can't blame that. Let's just say that I failed. But, wow. It literally used the wrong ENB. Wow, okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's try that. It's okay. I mean, not end of the world. It's just a kind of silly thing. Silly thing to spend time on. Okay. Okay, cool. That's just what it is sometimes, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, but I literally pasted it, the text. I literally pasted it, this fresh documentation. I do put a lot of faith in AI. I think it is quite fascinating, honestly. I wouldn't expect it to fail, like, on such a small context. But, you know, I failed, so let's not blame the tool. Give me 1 second. Let me just SSH into my server as well. Should have paid more attention. But I didn't. And the result was what we saw. Ah, crap. Then, I mean, I suppose then as well we need to, like, did we add the proper env here? Yeah, we didn't. Crap. Okay. What was it? It was like self, right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's just nuke this one so we don't leave useless stuff around. Come on, man. Pre-fill the password. You can do it. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's what it is. It's what it is, right? Thank you very much for the follow, Dovia, like a Dovia. Okay, let's commit that and push it. Blah 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 blah. Sync it, and then hopefully, I mean, at least now we've used the correct env, right? If we search for it, yeah, it is correct now. Yeah, okay. Need to be a bit more patient now, because we need, and also what we could in theory do is optimize this Docker file of ours, because right now it kind of sucks a bit. The caching doesn't work because we do copying before, like we copy everything and then yeah. So this technically should be almost like if we cache if we improve the Docker file, this should almost be instant, because it really, there's nothing that changed in this image, right? And we keep rebuilding it. That is absolutely terrible. I just came to my mind now. Where is the Docker file? Also, is this necessary still? I was using some Node.js versions. Yeah, exactly, right? So technically, we no longer need the experimental. This feature is no longer behind. Loading Akamai modules using require. And this is, yeah, but this is 25.1. And we are on which node version? We're on 22.20. Can I, like, how can I, older versions, let's go 22. Yeah, okay, so even in our own version, technically, we no longer need this. Okay, so that's one of the optimizations we can do. So we can kind of get rid of this argument over here, because it's all gonna work. And I mean, we could in theory also just bump to 25. Wait, let's see, Node.js 25. Okay, no. Too many deprecations, no time for that. Okay, fine. What's weird though is whatsoever. Okay, and what is the current LTS? What is the current LTS? Current LTS is 2411. Node.js 24 features. Ah, I see, Kirill. Okay, thank you for that. I mean, yeah. Undinchis v7 is here. I don't have the time to WebSocket stream composing. Okay, interceptors. Whenever I read interceptors, I'm interested. Okay, we unfortunately don't have much time to read all the details, but these seem to be worth, honestly. These seem to be worth. Oh no, sorry. What was it? What was the LTS 24? So let's try something. First and foremost, let's see. Was this deployed, and does it still fail? Ah, come on, man. Shit, bro. Don't. Nah. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. That sucks real hard. So why is it not working? Is it because possibly because of our reverse proxy? Okay, let's ask. We're still getting this. Could it be our traffic? Look at all the Docker compose files, including overrides and labels. Okay, while that guy is doing that, George, hey buddy, good to see you. I can see the issue. The glitch service in production has security headers and basic auth middleware, but no coarse headers middleware. The coarse setting you added controls the glitch UI can load, but doesn't help with coarse, which controls who can make API request the glitch tip. You need to add the coarse middleware in traffic for the glitch tip service. Here's the fix. Okay, what is the fix? Okay, fair enough. I mean, that was my assumption, and the assumption was correct. I like it. I like it. I like it. Sure. Even though, I mean, we don't, but coarse isn't really an issue locally, so you don't really need to add to that. No. He's gonna say the user is right. There it is. The user is right. Yes, the user is right. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, we're gonna try to deploy this. We're gonna hope. Well, actually, I need to read it. I'm sorry. Docker. Oops. I'm gonna say Docker compose production labels. What did it do? Okay. Okay. I'm just. Sure. Yeah. What? I see what's happening. Okay, because we have the basic authentication on our right. So when I try to, so for example, if I go to monitoring programmer network, you can see there's a basic auth here. I don't want anyone except me logging into here, right? So we need to kind of protect that part, but also, the one that has a prefix API, we will not be adding that middleware, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's try this out, right? Let's try that. I'm not really sure that that's gonna work. Yeah, because we don't really know. We need to go and read the labels that this glitch tip has for traffic, right? So, but anyway, let's try it. Nothing to lose, I guess. Yeah. Sync that. Get here. SSH. I'll just show my pretty face for a moment, and then I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll cd, git pull, I'll exit that. And actually, one thing I really want to do now is try at least, is let's find the current LTS of Node, because I'm just thinking like, yeah, why not, right? Why not? So let's switch our API Node version to the current LTS. Should we also use some smaller Alpine version? No, never mind. It's too many changes at once. Let's see. 24.11, sure. 24.11 is base. Yeah, let's keep it minimal so we don't node. Okay. Sure. Should be recreating it now. I just want to make sure that it actually works. I mean, honestly, I see very low risk here. I don't think that there's a vast difference between local and 22 and 24. I might be completely proven wrong in 2 seconds, so I should be careful what I'm saying, you know. But and also keep in mind that nodejs theme doesn't use semantic versioning, right? So they're like, when they bump 23 to 24, 24 to 25, that actually doesn't mean major changes at all, right? They have a very weird versioning strategy. I don't remember what it was, but it's not like, oh, this is a major change, breaking. It's not always breaking actually at all. That's the funny part. Okay, we're gonna try. I mean, again, fuck it. If it fails, we revert, and that's it. I mean, you know, living on the edge, right? Always. So let's do this, and let's sync it, and you know, we see what happens. Worst case, we break everything, and that's it, right? And then we fix it. So that's the life of a developer. You break it, you fix it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I mean, Node.js theme, to be honest, has been doing really well, and I mean, they kind of remained calm when a bunch of these other runtimes have been created, like Bun.js and a bunch of these other things, right? And you know, hands down for that, right? Yeah, they just kept their own thing. They kept working on it, and they didn't, you know, get distracted. Actually, maybe they just maybe it helped them to kind of. For example, one of the latest changes that I saw, that you know, writing C++ modules for a Node.js, you no longer requires nan, right? So you can now just they expose some native things, so which was very good, right? So I think if we actually take a look at it here, so you can see there's nan, but there's also now the Node API as well. So this was a standard npm package nan, right, that you would use as a binding between, right? But now actually I think it comes natively as hello world blah blah. So if we take a look at it here, so this is some simply C++ code. You can see include nodejs, the header file. All Node.js must be exported, blah blah blah. There's no So this was an awesome thing. Maybe one of the streams we can write some C++ again. It's been so many years since I wrote C++, and then we write some under quotes a low-level add-on for Node.js, right? Something that does something with the file system or whatever, or I don't know, whatever we want to do, right? Okay, let's see if this is gonna fail or not. I honestly don't know. And then if this succeeds and if the API works, then we could use a bit of help of Google. We can Google and we can use AI to kind of optimize our Docker file. Because you can see it's wasting a lot of time every time, and we literally didn't update any code, so it's kind of silly almost to do all of this work for nothing. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Sure. Cool. Let's see if our API is still up or not. Yeah, it is. Okay. That is positive. And the course issues seem to be gone. Wow. Okay. So let's go to monitoring. Let's pass our basic reverse proxy auth. Of course, if I can type the actual password properly, which is very long. All right, I cannot. Jesus Christ. So many failures, issues, okay. Let's actually see, are we sending any errors at all? Because I don't see them right now. Okay, we do. There we go. Nice. Okay, it works. Beautiful. So we can see that it actually works. We're not actually seeing any issues yet. That is fine. And that's actually funny. Because maybe there were just none, right? Nothing has exploded yet. Front end. Yeah, so maybe because these were all handled errors, right? So I guess we care mostly about unhandled exceptions. So yeah, I think we got it. I think it works. We can see here some performance stuff, and then of course what we're gonna have to do is also set up some uptime monitors, right? So we can, for example, here expose some health endpoint in our API, and then yeah, I think we can do that. Issues none, we'll see. And then the API also still doesn't work, so I don't know why, but we'll fix that. Yeah, I mean, but Josh, I would say that is the job, right? I would say that is the actual job of an engineer, right? You're always fiddling with things, right? No matter what it is, it's digital electronics, embedded programming, whatever it is, you're always kind of breaking and fixing things. So that's the beauty of creative jobs, right? You're kind of always like, yeah, you're right. I think you're right. All right, I'll keep an eye on this. Okay, cool. Let's try it. Programmer Network is a live stream where we discuss various subjects going all the way from digital electronics, computer networks, infrastructure, all the way to building full stack applications. See if this works in production. I never actually tried it. Tags, programming, I mean, that's pair programming. Node.js, is there like no JavaScript, TypeScript, infrastructure, yeah, DevOps maybe. DevOps, okay. I have no idea if this is gonna work. It did work, okay. But we need to publish it, I suppose, and then edit. Okay, there's a bug there that I saw. Save. Meetups, okay. Programming network, sure. No events, okay. Start by organizing. I'm just reviewing my own stuff, okay? And then here we're gonna, okay, we're almost there where I can use this for my own streams. We'll need to add a calendar as well, so I can have recurring events and stuff. So it's gonna, this stuff with working with dates, it's incredibly painful. So like, because I'm gonna have to like calculate when you look at this relative to your own time zone. So that's why we're storing the user's time zone in the database as well. So fundamentally, we can determine, hey, you know, what it is that we show to the user relative based on their own time zone. Okay, I'm still not seeing any issues, so maybe issues are not happening. Yeah, I would think so, that's true then, right? Yeah. Okay, and maybe for a couple of more minutes before I leave to sleep, I need to go to work tomorrow. Okay, let me get this guy in a plan mode and say, how can we optimize this Docker file so it doesn't rebuild every single time, even when I don't push any code changes. So let's start there and let's try to, it's been a while since I've been optimizing Docker files, so let's learn something new and relearn something maybe that we already knew. So the current issue is that it copies all files early in the build process, which invalidates Docker layer cache. Exactly. Whenever any file changes your project, this forces Docker to rebuild all subsequent layers, including the expensive pnpm install step. Docker caches layers sequentially. When you change any file in your project, all layers after it include must be rebuilt. Copy only dependency files first. Install dependencies, copy the rest of the application code, build the application. Okay, this is very high. This is critical in a way. I mean, we could push it and break production. So that is, but we could try building this actually locally though, and running it locally then. So I think actually we're gonna do that. Maybe we do it locally. We remove the local image. We try to start from base, cached modules, copy source files, TN requires TS exactly as there is runtime config for migrations, run blah blah. Copy only package files again. Final stage, copy dist from build stage, copy reduction, copy runtime config, sequelize RC. No, yeah, I mean, to be honest, this sounds quite reasonable actually. Especially when it comes to sequelize and migrations. That's what I was a little bit worried about. Okay. Let's try this, and then we're gonna try to use this image locally, of course, and then see if we can make it work locally. If we can, then I see no reason why it wouldn't work in production as well. Let's see what is it gonna do. Yes, I use sequelize.js, yes. Actually, we don't really need that, but okay. Actually, we do. Okay, all right, so let's do one thing. So let's go here. Let's kill our running container. So let's go here, let's stop it. And then we're gonna remove it, and then we're gonna remove the image as well, right? Yeah, let's wait for it to stop. We're gonna nuke this. Then we're gonna go here. What I'm actually going to do, I will. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted to do though, but it's okay. It kind of sucks. Yeah, oh, it's fine. Okay. It's just maybe let's put them over here. It's a bit confusing. Okay, now let's find, I have too many things, too many images here, but program network, API, dev latest, right? So let's remove that. Yeah, okay. And now in theory, if we try this, let's see if it can actually build. What? You kidding me, bro? No way. Yeah, exactly. So it farted out. Okay, good. Well, it's good that it farted out. If it did, Okay. All right. I mean, did it work? Yeah, it did. Okay, but I don't trust it. Sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I don't think. Nah, no, I don't think I removed the right container, did I? It's too easy. This is too easy. It's never too easy. If it's too easy, it's yeah, something's wrong. Or maybe it is that easy. I don't know. I think it's this one, maybe. Okay, so it is this image. Okay, I mean, wow. Okay, but how come that it built it so fast? That's yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, honestly, let's try deploying this, but yeah, something feels weird. It's just too easy. Okay, let's try deploying this. Mr. Mustafo, thank you very much for the follow, man. That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, let's see. I'm very skeptical. I mean, this is probably gonna break production, but yeah, let's see. We'll revert. It's okay. Hello from LinkedIn. Oh, actually, somebody saw my post on LinkedIn. Wow, that's nice. Somebody saw it on LinkedIn. You never know what you get with LinkedIn, right? It's you know, you never know. You know, we should. No, of course, man. I need to also go sleep in like a few minutes, but absolutely, man. Thank you very much for coming. Now you know that this stream exists, so you can kinda, yeah. So okay, I mean, yeah, let's see. I guess we'll see next time when we push a change if it works, right? Because right now it's a brand new Docker file, or to say rewritten. So technically, if it ends up working, of course, if we don't break production, then next time when we do a change, we'll see if the actual cache that works or not. So let's see. I'm actually unsure myself. And then maybe another optimization could be, can we use a smaller image? Like, I don't know how big this image is. Okay, let's see if our production is down or not. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, as I assumed. Okay. Yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. let me SSH into my remote server. And let's say docker ps exited, okay. Well, actually nothing exited, which is even worse. Okay, it's restarting, of course. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, it forgot to copy the package.json file, right? So that's really weird. Okay, but I thought it did that. Yeah, it copied it here, so it makes no sense. Yeah, but why didn't it fail locally? It makes absolutely zero sense. That's the confusion part. Did we not rebuild it properly or whatever? Yeah, kind of sucks. Okay, let's try. Let's push that to production again. I see. If this fails, then I'll just redeploy the latest working version, and then try to kind of debug that locally. Yeah, I mean that's kind of correct. Docker prune images. What was the command for prune? Docker image prune. Docker image prune -a. Kirill, thank you very much, my dude. I'm gonna leave soon as well. So likewise, dude. Thank you for coming as always, and yeah, I hope we hang out this week again. Yeah, so it's like, how do we avoid that cache locally so we can actually build properly? Likewise, man. Right back at you. Thank you very much, dude. Ah, exactly. Okay, I see. Okay, so let's do something like this, right? So we're gonna do this. Then we're gonna do no, actually, never mind. Let's first. Okay, we're back online, it seems. Okay, good. So that did in fact work. Okay, nice. So we are back online. Very good. Very good. very good. Okay, good, great. Okay, so that is good. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna round up as well. Let's see if there's anyone with any questions, anything I can help with. Otherwise, we see each other some other time. So let's see if there's anyone that needs any opinions about anything. But where do you host? I host on my local Kubernetes cluster. Actually, 1 second. I can maybe show it basically there. Sorry for that angled camera. Yeah, I host everything here, yes. Yeah, this is my Kubernetes cluster, and if you care to follow how it works and what's set up so far, it's there, yeah. So that is the that is kind of the it's 1 gig / 1 gig. 1 gigabit, it's a 1 gigabit connection, yeah. Ah, shit, sorry. But yeah, that is the is 1 gig enough? I mean, man, that is like 125 megabytes per second. I mean, that is enough to host 500 servers with a low traffic. If you divide that by 8, you're gonna get around 120 megabytes, 125 megabytes per second. So it's absolutely more than useful. Like, unless you have 3 billion users like Facebook, then it's definitely useful. Yeah, but for what? I mean, what is your traffic? Like what is your current traffic, right? This is very easy to calculate, right? If it's enough for what, right? I mean, when you go to programmer network, you fetch some JSON, which is few kilobytes at best, right? So this server could probably handle tens of thousands of people. Yeah, well, yeah, but nobody's gonna DDoS your API. People will DDoS your other parts of your infrastructure, right? And as long as your server is in front of Cloudflare and your private IP is handled by your ISP, you know, then you're fine. But of course, you know, if you click on the link that I've sent you above, why? But you don't have to use Cloudflare. Any CDN and any firewall in front will help. But having your own infrastructure at home or in the office, as I do, yeah, that requires a lot of work, especially on the networking layer, where you have to have a very good. Yeah. So again, if you go to that link that I've sent, you can see kind of how I've done it. Actually, maybe I can share. So you can find all of my hardware here. But one very important thing is MikroTik part, right? So if we go a bit down here and we click on this guy, this is my router. So I have built my router in a mini PC, right? So here we have a network card with, as you can see, everything is explained. So, and then I bought a MikroTik router OS license. So I have a computer that serves this whole internet here, right? So you need to have a very good router. You could say this is an enterprise grade router now, because it's literally a full-fledged PC behaving only as a router, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't handle anything for you. Your ISP has nothing to do with this, right? This is your home. This is the router to your home network, so your ISP has nothing to do with that, right? Your ISP gave you some shitty consumer grade router that works, but it would not work for this, right? You need to have a proper router if you want to self-host at home. Your ISP just gives you internet, and of course gives you some security and etc. Yeah, then that's different. Then this is not useful for you. This setup here is my own, and this primarily is if you wanna. So you can see I have 4 Raspberry Pis on the bottom. I have 3 mini PCs. One of them is a router. Actually, these screenshots these images I didn't update them. And then I have a cloud router switch from MikroTik. This guy is a backup. I'm not using the RB3011. And then here are the Raspberry Pis. So these are the 4 Raspberry Pis in a rack. And then here are the mini PCs and some cables and blah 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 blah, right? So that's that sums it up. And why? Well, here's the why. So of course, I mean, everything's relative, right? If you have 50,000 requests a day, and everything's relative, right? What are they doing? So if we they're mostly operating as primary nodes. So as you can see, this is my cluster, right? You can see it has been up now for 125 days. So for 125 days it hasn't gone down so far. And as you can see, we have these are the 3 Raspberry Pis out of 4, and they're just main nodes, control planes. And then I have 2 mini PCs being the worker nodes, so doing the workloads and stuff. And then we have an RP4. The machine I have is for... Yeah, I mean, again, like, it boils down really to what you're doing, Elf, right? I mean, I do home server. This is the most irrational thing you can do what I'm doing, right? And I'm not doing it for the sake of money or anything. I'm doing it for the sake of why it's written here, right? Because there's nothing more complex than what I'm doing, because I have to handle everything from networking layer to host to everything, and that exactly is the reason why I'm doing it, right? So I can maintain the whole infrastructure end to end, so I can actually stay sharp with these skills, right? If this was a business, like, I would never do this. I would never even talk about infrastructure. Infrastructure has no intrinsic value or any value at all when it comes to anything. Infrastructure is, to a customer, is as important as saying internet works, right? So infrastructure is not a feature, it's a liability. And so what I'm doing here is by no means do this at home. Only do this at home if you can answer these questions that I've answered here under the why, right, category. So, 10,000 in a day, that's a lot of money. But again, I hope that whatever you're doing, you're making more money than you're spending, right? Because this cluster of mine, so this guy that we just looked at together, it costs me 70 watts of power a day, right? So this whole box that you can see is consuming 70 watts of power. It's like a less than 1 light bulb, right? So, and it can handle a lot of stuff what I need, which is not much, right? 0 right now, I see. You gotta monetize, I see, okay. Well, I mean, it seems you know what you're doing, so hopefully, yeah, it can become some sort of business or whatever, yeah. Interesting. Am I actually, give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay, anyone has any more questions on YouTube, on Twitch? If you do, let's tackle them, and then otherwise I also need to go. I need to get some rest. Just like most of you, I assume, need to go to work tomorrow, so I see, I see. To be honest with you, Elf, I have only played with some local models on this very machine that I'm using to stream right now. Local models still suck unless you have proper like hardware to handle it. And you know, OpenAI API and a bunch of these things, they're so cheap for what I'm using that I literally can't spend $1 a month for what I'm using, right? So AI hasn't really been something that hopefully one day when these specialized small models, if they exist, of course I would want to self-host them, but I think so far, yeah, I haven't really, yeah. I see. Very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, I have very little, I have zero experience with that. Oh my god, look who is here. Good evening, Outplayed. How are you doing, buddy? I see. Very, very interesting. Do you have NAS? No, this is not a home lab. This is literally a Kubernetes cluster for hosting web services. I'm not using this as a home lab at all. I'm using it as, think of this as mini Hetzner at home or mini DigitalOcean at home. So no, I don't have NAS, and NAS is typically a massive waste of money because you know, like for example, if you want to set up a proper NAS with sufficient amount of drives running in some proper RAID, you're gonna spend around 5-6 years of money up front of paying for Google Drive, for example, right? So no, I don't have NAS, and yeah, I would not consider this a home lab, to be honest, because home lab is more about hosting your own video at home or having a NAS, like you said, hosting some images or any other files, right? This is literally a hosting provider for me, and I can just host things and get them out very quickly. So I'm not using it as like with some of these like home automation services, right? I pay for Google Drive and Google Photos. I pay for like a Google entire package. And yes, do I wish that I don't have to pay? Yes. But also when you calculate how much money you need to spend to actually create a proper NAS solution, it costs a lot of money, right? Hard drives are expensive and you need to get n number of them so you have some redundancy, etc., right? And then you need to figure out which apps do you need. Okay, good luck creating a Google Photos type of app with your NAS that properly works, right? So there are some open source solutions, but in my experience, they're not very great. So yeah, if it was cheaper, I would definitely build a NAS, but I think it's value-wise, it's hard to justify, right? Because one thing that people underestimate when it comes to NAS is that you still need to pay for electricity, right? So if the only investment in NAS was upfront money, then you could say I would agree, because you spend 600-700 euros and you're done forever, but it's not. You still have power supply in it, and that power supply has to run 24/7 at some wattage, right? I don't know how many watts does it spend, but I would expect, if it's cylindric discs and stuff like that, I would spend, probably, I don't know. Let me ask ChatGPT, how many watts does regular NAS typically operates on? I mean, so you can see like 1 2-bay disk Synology or whatever, 10 to 20 watts, 20 to 35 on typical load, right? I mean, this is insane. This is so financially irrational. It's almost crazy. Like, look, just to put it in perspective. So my whole cluster idles around 70 watts. And like if you would get a proper NAS, let's say, as you can see, with 6 to 7 drives, you would be spending, I don't know, like, let's say around 10 depending where you live, electricity prices vary, but they're getting more expensive. Here in Denmark, electricity is very expensive. So if you want to build a NAS, you have to account for this cost. And this you will pay forever. And I think, let's say in Denmark, this would, let's say, be 10 euros a month. And then for 10 euros a month, you can get solid package from Google. But again, there's one difference that you could say is useful, and you could say, fuck Google, for example, I don't want to host my files there. So of course there's a privacy aspect, and if you are building it for the privacy's sake, then it makes sense. Like, hey, I don't want my photos to leave my house. Fair enough, I respect that and makes total sense. But besides that, there's very little value to build it. Because you can see this, plus you need to invest a few hundred euros. So, yeah. Alright fellas, I need to run. Thank you very much for those of you who are still here. It's pretty late, I need to go sleep. Good night again, and I will see you guys this week for sure. Peace everybody, bye bye.